Hey Roughneck, welcome. So, got this board here. Anyway, what'd we do? We're working on some drums right now. Reamping and the snare drum by using a Peavy Audition 20 speaker and running just the snare track through the speaker, out of the interface, through the speaker, so that it triggers the snare drum. And then I can mix that back in right into the Logic track. So anyway, having some fun. The drums for Riverdick are pretty sweet. It's a solid foundation that Austin laid down for us. Yeah, so basically we're just enhancing the drums a little bit. We didn't have a bunch of mics on the toms the day of, so a few tom hits and things like that. We're just pulling out, overdubbing, things like that. But anyway, yeah. So that's that. So if we go into the Riverdick project, we can kind of see how the drums mix in and overdubbing a little bit of the reverb, or what is that, reamped. And mix it in with our real snare drum after EQing and things and see how that goes. Then also adding a tom hit or two in enhancing the tom hits that are kind of missing underneath the microphone and see how that mixes in. So that's our real tom, which we overdubbed, and then hopefully it's the same as the sound that Austin got in the room back in 2019 and mixed the two together, and you know, maybe it'll be seamless. Those toms sound pretty fat. We definitely want to get that open sound cutting through on the recording. And here's an upside down shot of reamping the snare drum. You can see the guitar amp is putting off the sound, and then the buzz is going through the snare drum, which is being picked up by that microphone there, the Shure SM58. So it works pretty good. And the track that is playing through the snare drum right there is actually Austin's snare track. So every snare hit he makes, it plays through the second snare drum through the speaker and kind of creates a feedback loop. So all you have to do is just solo Austin's snare drum track, EQ out some things. I found that kind of helps us to get rid of a lot of the low end and any bleed from any other instruments, so where all you hear is just that of the snare drum. And then it buzzes really well. Otherwise, if you just leave it un-EQ'd and leave all the frequencies running through, you just get kind of a constant buzz, depending on how well you mic'd your snare drum. Okay, thanks for checking this out. Maybe it gave you some ideas on micing a snare drum or reamping a snare drum. You know, if you don't do the greatest job micing it, you can always reamp it, add it to taste. Get a little idea of how they are soloed. The old snare drum and then the new one. So this is the old one, soloed, and you can see there's, actually it looks like I'm on the wrong channel here as far as viewing. Okay, here we go. Alright, yeah, so the old snare drum has the CLA2A, which is a plugin I just got. It's a pretty sweet compressor, SSL, and an EQ. So this is kind of cool. So there's some real heavy compression and crap like that. Now this isn't all dialed in yet. I was using Logic's compressor before this and actually got really good results, but figured I'd play with these Waves toys. Alright, and then this is the sound of just the snare drum. That's been reamped. So this is the reamped snare drum, what it sounds like coming into Logic. Just completely dry. And now blended in with the original snare drum. A little bit of time aligning had to be done on the wave files because I don't know, latency or something like that. You can easily obviously do it by eye, just looking at where the waves need to meet up. And this is the whole drum set. This is the full drum set for the most part. So anyway, yeah, blended into taste. Sounds kind of cool.